Hello, and we are back with Crypt of the NecroDancer. I am Maleev, and I will be your host for this run. Just a quick heads up on some things going on. We did reach this goal to get the cutscenes for Crypt of the NecroDancer, so we're going to be able to enjoy and watch some cool spectacles. Never enough cutscenes in any marathon. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some stuff. And the bid war has ended, and with it we've got our top 4 songs, which are Danny B, Family Jewels, Danny B, Family Jewels, Vert, and Overclocked Remix. Without further ado though, don't forget, if anybody wants to donate or check out any incentives for upcoming events, there is a command, and you can just check this out here. Without that further ado, I will let Spooty take the wheel.
Alright, thanks, and welcome everyone. This is Crypt of the NecroDancer Amplified. Amplified being the DLC that was released for the game like a couple years after the original. Adds a lot of characters and a new zone, which we'll be playing one of the new characters in the story mode run today. Story mode goes through all 4 of the characters that have story cutscenes in order. So that's going to be Nocturna, Cadence, Melody, and Aria. And thanks everyone for your donations thus far. You unlocked the incentive to view all the cutscenes, which means you get to get caught up on all that sweet, sweet NecroDancer lore as we go through. So, yeah, as it says right here, we play as Nocturna, Cadence, Melody, then Aria. This is a game with permadeath. It's a roguelike, procedurally generated dungeons, and if you die, you go back to the start. In story mode, that means all the way back to the first character if you die. If I die after the first, we'll just play the characters individually and pretend we played story mode, just for marathon safety strats. But other than that, I think we are good to get started. I will count you down in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're going to be starting the game with Nocturna. Nocturna was added with the DLC. She's, as far as the story is concerned, she's a prequel character who takes place some unknown amount of time before the events of the main original NecroDancer story. And Nocturna kind of has a few special traits, kind of meant to make her a little easier because a lot of people found the game originally to be extremely tough. So Nocturna has a number of safety features. One you see me right there that I'm using is the bat form, because Nocturna is a vampire, so one of her spell slots is always filled with the transform spell. When you use it, you transform to bat form, which loses access to all items other than spells while you're in bat form. But you have a 4 damage close range attack and can see all enemies, and regenerate health every 5 kills. More importantly, whenever you cast Transform, you are invincible for 2 beats, which is a trait something that comes up whenever you take damage as well. You may see that abused sometimes in the run. And you also automatically transform to Bat Form if you would otherwise die. You just get reduced to half a heart and automatically switch to Bat Form. Switching out of Bat Form costs half a heart though, so you gotta be careful when you use it. That said, there is a way to circumvent it, and you'll see me doing that sometimes. When you finish a floor, when you get on the exit stairs to leave a floor, you're fully invincible for the beat, but you can still act for a little bit on the next beat in the song before the screen fades out. So we're gonna see that, like I could if I was in bat form, transform on the stairs there, and the stairs invincibility prevents the half a heart cost of transforming back into human form. It's a really useful trick. And yeah, bat form abuse is something you see a lot in the early game before you get a good weapon. That said, I just found a really good weapon. In fact, I found the pretty much best weapon. Axes are absolutely broken. Whoops. I kind of fell off the beat there, so I missed my flawless victory, but that's okay. I already have an axe. So axes are the only weapon in the game that does both AoE damage and can move attack. It'll attack a single target directly in front of you, if there's something in front of you, but if there isn't, then you'll do a 3 damage wide, or a 3 tile wide swipe, 2 tiles away and move forward. Really strong. I'll let the cutscene play out.
I'll destroy it before I let them learn its secrets.
So yeah, basically the story goes is that, that's a tempting option, but I'm going to play it safe and not pick that. Cat is also a very strong weapon type, and that's a glass weapon. Glass weapons are the strongest material when it comes to damage output. They deal 4 damage. But if you ever take damage while you are in, while you're carrying a glass weapon, the glass breaks, and you're left with a 1 damage glass shard that has short range. It's essentially just the basic dagger. Well, I guess I'll take the cap here. I really want that armor, but I don't... Oh, wait, actually, yes, I do have a way to kill this. Blood magic. Oh, wait, I want the cap. So Heavy Plate's the best armor in the game. We just killed Freddy there. Freddy deals basically infinite damage, so you have to be really careful if you want to kill him for equipment. Thankfully, I had a good setup there with the bomb spell. So that's a good consistent way to do it with, again, transform abuse, just getting some iframes. Well, there's some weaker armor, so I guess I'm not fighting that arena. There's a mole there, I gotta make sure. Oh, that's a grenade charm. Grenade charm's really strong. Grenade changes your bombs into thrown 6 damage projectiles, which, as you can guess, is a little strong. And also gives you 3 bombs on pickup. You do gotta make sure you're not grenading yourself, though, because the grenades lose their fuse compared to when they're normal bombs. Very easy to bomb yourself if you're not careful. So we got King Konga here. King Konga's gimmick is that every 8th beat from the beat bars are removed, and if you ever act in it or miss a beat otherwise, Konga gets angry and comes after you. Oh, that's a heal spell.
There were also
A little more stair abuse, healing on the stairs to circumvent the blood cost of casting heal. So.
Something about trying to harness lightning. These metal veins. I can feel them pulsing with life. Maybe I can follow them to their beating heart.
So this is a super tanky, super fast build now, because I've got health regeneration with the heal spell. With stair invincibility abuse, we can essentially get half a heart of health regenerated every floor. And then Heavy Plate reduces all incoming damage by 2 hearts, which for most enemies, like that means I'm only taking half a heart. Freddy Ghost here could still hit me really hard. Freddy Ghost hits for 5 hearts. But most enemies cap out at 3 hearts of damage, so in most cases, the worst damage you're gonna see me taking is maybe a 1 heart hit from certain mini bosses. Ugh, this swarm is really nasty. Nightmares can be really annoying. They hide the tiles around them, and that includes like hiding spike traps and stuff. So you gotta be really careful around Nightmares. I stood on hot coals there. Hot coals deal damage if you spend a turn on them doing without moving, and I just stood on hot coals that I couldn't really see. I'm gonna go for the purple chest here. Hopefully get a ring. Well, that's a scroll.
We're not all that
Yeah, quick word on the bosses. You generally want to try and get a flawless victory, which means not missing a beat and not taking any damage. If you get a flawless victory, then you get a choice of one of 3 items in the back there.
Time to find the hand pulling your strings.
Alright, so Zone 4 is generally going to be the hardest zone on most characters, and it's especially so on Nocturna, because one of Nocturna's special traits that I briefly mentioned before is she has Zone 5 bleed. So there's one of these pink rooms with a big wire through it on every floor. That's not normally there in most cases. Here, you know, we could do something a little cheeky here. Actually, yeah, I'm just going to take that. That's the Shovel of Strength. That gives me +1 damage and makes my shovel dig extra big, although the shovel digging extra big part is not going to come up here because Miner's Cap is doing my digging instead. More importantly, it gets me up to 3 damage on my basic attack, which 3 damage is kind of a critical damage threshold in this game. There's a lot of enemies that cap out at 3 health, a lot of common enemies, so doing 3 damage in a single swipe is really strong. We're just gonna pop this Quake. What's the worst that could happen? So Quake, like, destroys a whole bunch of random walls and does 1 damage to, like, all ground-based enemies. It's pretty risky because it opens up a lot of rooms, but... Okay, we're gonna pop the Heart Transplant. The Heart Transplant we just picked up allows us to move independently of the beat for 20 seconds, which is really good for speed strats, as we're seeing right here. Oh, Yeah, I'll take that over the heal. I have the potion. The potion's an extra life, essentially. I don't think I need the health
Dastardly
regeneration now.
turned. They took away everything that was dear to me and left me to wander forever in the darkness. I have to feed. I have to obey the clan. I may not be able to stop the vampire clans, but I can stop this scientist from keeping even more souls from the afterlife.
So yeah, there's this whole backstory in Nocturna's storyline about this vampire clan. That, like, it never comes up in the main storyline after you finish the Nocturna storyline, so... That's kind of a common thing in the NecroDancer story. It's just something kind of gets mentioned and then, like, never really elaborated on. Kind of just leaves you to, like, kind of, you know, fill in the blanks yourself in a lot of cases. Anyway, this is Zone 5, so this is where, you know, the floors that have the wire come from. Miner's Cap is making these floors really fast because I can just dig through the walls and take shortcuts. And we're already done with Zone 5, and we're on to the, Nocturna's story bosses. First we got Frankensteinway, who can be a really big bully. But we're gonna save some time by taking out the shield generators. Oops, I walked into a hit there, so no flawless victory here. Flawless victory here is not super important. That's a pretty fast fight. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any bombs for the conductor fight, which you want a lot of bombs because it saves lots of time. But
Fitting that your laboratory is in a crypt. After I kill you, I won't have to bother with a burial.
Why ever would you kill me? I'm pushing science centuries beyond anyone's comprehension. I'm creating life.
Creating life? You're cheating death. Bending lost souls to your will. They don't want your science. They crave freedom. I should know.
Oh, I see. You want to be human again. I may be able to do that with this. I admit I don't completely understand it, but the loot is power.
No. No, you've meddled enough with life and death. This ends now.
yeah, cutscenes make for good hydration breaks. So this boss fight can be a little messy. Thankfully, I have tons of health and armor, so shouldn't have any problems here. But yeah, like I said, I don't have any bombs, so don't get to fully fast strat this. So phase 1, you got to walk up these wires and destroy all the instruments. And yeah, that gold loot we saw in that cutscene is going to be a focal point of the plot from here on. Yeah, getting clubbed, going clubbing, as we say. Oop, confusion spell. Alright, so phase 2, we have to attack while we're on the wires to drain the batteries. Alright. Wait, that's the wrong position. Alright. So yeah, there's that potion I mentioned going off. And every 3 waves, she spawns a water ball, which can be used to just instantly short out a battery. We're gonna stand here, because then she'll throw that bomb so that it hits the batteries. Bombs can be thrown at the batteries to make them drain as much, drain the equivalent of 2 enemies being hit on the wire. So if you have lots of bombs, you can essentially just skip the whole intended mechanic of killing things while you're on the wire. That was like an okay conductor fight considering I only had 2 bombs. So yeah, we see here Nocturna destroys the conductor's lab, but keeps the golden loot. And then who knows what happens for a while, but the golden loot makes a return in the main storyline in the hands of the NecroDancer. Alright, so that is 1 of 4 characters done. So now we move on to Cadence, who is the default character. So like you have basic gameplay rules with her. There's no special character gimmicks, no starting equipment beyond a basic shovel, a basic dagger, and 1 bomb. So dagger is the most basic weapon type. It can only attack tiles directly in front of you, but you can also throw it. It's generally not advisable to throw your dagger, but it is something that has some niche applications. So picking up the pickaxe there, pickaxe lets me dig most wall types, but stronger wall types will take multiple hits to dig out. Ooh, and it's perfect. That's right before the potential food shop. It's not going to be the food shop. It never is the food shop. It's never the food shop. That's the pawnbroker. So yeah, if you see cracked walls, there are secret shops behind them. Depending on what tier the cracked wall is, like that was a tier 3 wall, that it can either be the pawnbroker or the food shop. The food shop can get you, it's a really easy thing that you can kill, and you can get a bunch of extra max health out of it for pretty much free. Yeah, unfortunately, as we like to say, it's never the food shop. It's always the pawnbroker, which pawnbroker just lets you sell items. It's pretty worthless, especially in a speed run. Freddy, where are you? Perfect. So I'm just gonna rob Freddy here because that pink shovel we see up there is really, really, really good, and we definitely want it. You don't have to kill Freddy to get his wares. If you're creative, you can find other ways like that. And Freddy doesn't die if he goes down a trapdoor. He'll be back on the next floor and completely forget about the terrible things we did to him. Ooh, that's a magic apple. Magic food, if you overheal with it, you'll get extra heart containers. I'll just take these and go. I don't really have a good way to actually initiate a fight on the Blood Shopkeeper. Usually you want to try and fight him to get the Blood Drum. It's pretty valuable in Cadence runs, but I didn't have a way to initiate a fight safely. Ooh. Do I just... This is a tough... I'm considering just taking this shrine. Because yeah, I'm gonna do it. Glass Broad is not a particularly great weapon. Unfortunately, I don't have a bomb to then bomb the shrine, which would give me an enchant scroll, which could gives me a good chance for upgrading my dagger into a special dagger like the electric dagger, which is one of the best weapons in the game. But trying to piece resets your weapon, but fully heals you and gives you an extra heart container. And considering Glass Broad is not a weapon I'm looking to run long term, I don't mind getting the extra tankiness. Blood Harp, okay. Blood weapons deal 1 damage
always coming and going
unless you're at half a heart. Then they deal infinite damage.
But this time he seemed more excited.
They also give you half a heart if you heal every 10 kills.
When I was older, I found the notes he left behind. Directions to a grave.
So yeah, again, the events of Cadence are many, many years after Nocturno, possibly hundreds or thousands. It's not clear. Or maybe just a few dozen. It's completely ambiguous how much time passes between Nocturna and Cadence's stories. So Infernal Torch, whenever you dig a wall with a torch, or in this case a mushroom light on the wall, it's gonna shoot a big 8 damage fireball. Is that a potion room? That is a potion room. Potions are always surrounded by a solid wall of stronger, solid ring of stronger walls, so you can usually spot them if you're keeping a close eye out. And potions, again, are essentially an extra life. So they're very valuable, especially when you have so much extra max health, like I do right here. Okay, that's a Conjurer, which is naturally really good. If I can get, like, a damage up ring with this, Blood Harp, that's a really solid build. I'm gonna go for a ring here and hopefully get, like, Ring of Might or Ring of War. Or Ring of Pain. Ring of Pain works too. Let's go boots as well. Oh, that's... Those boots are actually not very good. Wing boots, as you would guess, give you full immunity to any floor hazard. But the thing is, that includes trapdoors, which, you know, we like to use those for, you know, for speed strats. I kind of picked them up before really processing what boots I just conjured, so... it's a double-edged sword. It's also worth noting, in Zone 5, you can't use the electricity attacks from the wire if you have the wing boots, so... Hopefully I can find an opportunity to transmog these into leaping or lunging.
Now I have no choice, Eli. I have to find the golden loot.
And abandon your child?
With these notes, it shouldn't take long to find.
What was so important about golden loot?
What's so important about golden loot? Nothing. That's why you should all, consider donating your golden loot to the marathon. Alright, anyway, so yeah, Zone 3, thankfully is actually going to be a lot easier because of these floaty boots. Because, yeah, we're just completely immune to both the hot coals and the ice, which is very, very good to have. So the pink shovel I picked up, the Shovel Courage, it has a level 2 dig, and whenever you dig, you will automatically move into the tile you just dug, and you'll be invincible for the beat. Which is, as you probably guess, both moving without stopping and invincibility are both very strong traits to have. I kind of messed up the setup there, so I do not get a flawless victory here, because I trapped myself against that Grey Goblin. Speaking of which, Grey Goblins do a lot of damage, normally. Thankfully, I've got Quartz Armor, which puts a ceiling on the damage I take to 1 heart.
We were so happy together. Until my mother got sick.
I just want to help you, Melody. Can't you see that?
There's a reason my mother took that thing away, Dorian. Don't go.
We will be playing as Melody
I
soon.
have to find it.
Dorian here is also playable, but he is not part of the main story, so we will not see him on this marathon beyond very briefly at the end of this character's run. So there's the food shop down there, but at this point I have so much health, I don't think it's worth the time investment to go in there and raise my max health. So yeah, Ring of Pain, I never really explained it. Ring of Pain, what it does is, whenever you attack with your weapon, it will deal an additional 1 damage attack to all tiles surrounding you after the attack. So, with the harp, in a way, it's acting as it's basically boosting my blood harp up to 2 damage. I should clarify, the harp, by the way, unlike most weapons, where if there's something in range of your weapon, you'll hit it, Harp will only attack if there is something directly in the tile you're moving into, at which point it will just kind of incidentally attack all the other 7 tiles. So you need to position yourself such that, you can actually directly move into the enemies. Which, I haven't really talked about the game's controls, really. So the game's controls are extremely simple. It's meant to be played with only 4 arrows. So basically, there's no separate, dedicated attack or move buttons. It's just you press a direction, and if you can attack, you attack. If you can't attack, you move. Yeah, I already missed the flawless. No reason to pace down again. So no cutscene this zone because this character was before the DLC, so she only has 4 characters, 4 cutscenes rather. So yeah, I have so much health. I'm just gonna tank some hits here. I have decent health and armor. At high level speedrunning, this game is a lot about using your resources effectively, and that includes your health. Your health is a resource at the end of the day. So you can use it to tank hits and avoid having to spend time pacing back and forth. Because, you gotta remember, the entire game is locked to the tempo of the music, which means that, every single beat you can save counts. Doing a little cheeky little thing there. If you heal, you are invincible for the full beat, so I just ate the ham in the face of that Minotaur, and his charge does no damage. And I also heal up. So we got Deadringer here. Deadringer is not cooperating. Okay, there we go. And oh no, oh my goodness, Deadringer is actually Dorian.
I guess you don't have the heart to face me.
I think I know how to defeat him, Cadence. But we'll have to work together. Follow my lead.
And okay, so we're gonna follow Dorian's lead, and by follow Dorian's lead, I mean get him moved out of the way so he doesn't ruin everything. So you're supposed to, like, maneuver these characters so that you hit both buttons simultaneously and gradually destroy the stage. But if you come in with enough bombs, you can just kind of bomb your way in. I'm gonna tank a few of them to save a little time. And just skip the whole puzzle phase. And now we just are gonna move Dorian far enough out of the way such that he doesn't ruin everything, because you can only damage the NecroDancer with the golden loot. And Dorian can't use it, so we just want him out of the way. And with specific positioning, you can get the NecroDancer to kind of move towards you. Normally he tries to run away, but with the exact right positioning, he'll move towards you and give you just enough time to hit him before he runs away. So, very quick fight, and that's Cadence. We're halfway done with the run.
It was a golden loot you were after. But why?
You're about to find out.
And so they take the golden loot out of the crypt and use it to resurrect Melody, Cadence's mother and Dorian's husband.
They brought me back, using the power of the golden loot. But we soon discovered that the
Dorian's face here is classic.
To stay alive, we must keep playing. And the longer we play, the more it robs us of our humanity. But I know something about the crypt that they don't. And now I need answers.
So yeah, Melody takes the loot and goes back into the crypt. Now Melody has a smaller starting health pool, only 2, but the golden loot, thankfully, is the most overpowered weapon in the game. Unlike most other weapons, the loot cannot attack enemies directly. If there's an enemy standing next to you and you try to move into it, you're just going to kind of bump into it and do absolutely nothing. The loot only deals damage whenever you move, but when you move, it hits all surrounding tiles of both your current and your destination tile. So it deals with swarms of large swarms of enemies, all on the move. It's absurdly strong in a speedrun setting. But you got to be very careful that you don't get fully surrounded, because if you get into a situation where all 4 of your directions are cut off with enemies, and you don't have like a spell or something to deal with that, like that's it. You're done, and you're just going to be forced to stand there and watch as the enemies surrounding you slowly whittle away your health. And there's just nothing you can do. So you got to be very careful of full surround situations. Gonna go check that chest, and then I'm gonna take the trapdoor. Okay. So the nice thing about Melody is that since she's locked the golden loot, you can't find weapons. And that means that these flawless chests are guaranteed to have armor. And generally good armor. Hopefully we get good luck and don't get glass armor here. So we're just gonna do a little quick heal here. Skip the first phase by attacking the head directly, and then bomb for the second phase. So we go black chest. This chest can be glass armor, heavy glass, plate armor, or heavy plate. We got plate armor, which is the most common and generally what you want to see. So that's good.
It was the same plague that had come through our village when I was a child.
The reliability with which you can obtain armor on Melody helps counteract her low health pool. So, yeah.
I could see the greed in his eyes, behind the desperation. It was just like before.
So yeah, plate armor is going to reduce all incoming damage by 1.5 hearts, which for most intents and purposes means that everything's going to deal one half of a heart of damage. Got to watch out and make sure I'm not taking big hits from mini-bosses frequently, though. But other than that, and yeah, a little showcase right there. The loot doesn't even only attack when you manually move. If something else moves you, like a bounce trap or a wind spell, it still deals damage on movement. Once again, the golden loot is the most overpowered weapon in the game. It attacks even when you are not trying to. Which, in Zone 4, that can get you into some trouble. As we may see later. Okay, so... yeah, there are... I know it may seem like I'm just kind of going in a random direction sometimes, and somehow, like, that happens to be where the exit is. But there are rules that pretty much every zone follows with respect to where the exit can and can't be. So Zone 2, you usually want to just, like, try and go through a solid wall from the starting room. and the exit's usually not going to be far off from there. Poor Fortissimo never really gets far in his rap. So I want to go for the purple chest here. Purple chests have magic items like spells, rings, and scrolls. And I got a good spell, pulse spell.
My mother left us to get rid of the loot, just like she left us to find it. And now I've inherited her burden, but I'll be damned if I'm going to pass it on to my daughter.
So pulse spell, unfortunately, doesn't really deal with the surround situation I was mentioning before. Because it only hits tiles in an X, so it doesn't clear tiles directly adjacent to you. But it's still a very strong offensive tool. It deals 5 damage, which will one-shot most mini-bosses. I'm gonna hit this Shrine of Chance a few times, see if I get anything. Nothing better than what I'm already carrying. Ooh, Shriner. Shrine of Space? Shrine of Space, nice. This is what Melody likes to see. Activating a Shrine of Space increases the size of your floors for most of the run afterwards. It doesn't affect Zone in 4 and 5, because the devs kind of forgot to make it affect Zones 4 and 5. But, more importantly, bombing an activated Shrine of Space gives you Miner's Cap, which automatically digs tiles that you walk by, as we saw in Nocturne Run. And for Melody, who needs to keep moving in order to keep dealing damage, that is very strong. Well, whatever that secret shop was, it got eaten by the elemental, so rip. So Chicken heals 3 hearts. I'm going to stick with the Holy Water here, though, because it's currently my only way of dealing with a full surround. Holy Water will deal 5 damage to all surrounding tiles and heal you for each enemy hit that way. And yeah, it's the only way I have of getting out of a surround right now. So I am holding it until I either need an emergency heal, or until I need to break out of the surround. I still don't have a ring, so I'm going to keep checking purple here. A Ring of Peace or a Ring of Regen would be very strong here. Earth Spell. I think I'm going to... I probably should have taken Earth over Pulse. That gets rid of surrounds.
The people who are dying, but they turned against her. They wanted the power of the loot for themselves. It's not the loot that's cursed. It's us.
Alright, so Zone 4 is like most characters, one of the roughest zones. Partly because there are a lot of enemies you don't necessarily want to attack in Zone 4. Like Warlocks, when you kill them with an attack, will teleport you to their position. Bombers will drop a bomb on kill. There's a lot of situations where you don't want to kill enemies that you are next to on Melody. But due to the nature of how the loot's attack works, you just don't have a choice. So you gotta be very careful about your positioning and make sure you plan your movements carefully. Using Heal Spell there to tank that bomb spell, or that bomb from the Goblin. Okay, still good, looking good. And yeah, we gotta be really careful of Ooze as well. Ooze is the most dangerous floor hazard in the game. When you're on it, if you don't have boots that protect against it, you get Shrunk, which prevents you from attacking or digging, and makes you take double damage. So we gotta be very careful with those green tiles that we're seeing on the floor. Stair heal there to top myself back up. Alright, and then... yeah, so like the Warlocks there kept preventing me from getting into good position there. Zone 5 is generally easier, so I'm going to skip the Flawless Rewards there, just to save some time. That's the story for almost every character. Zone 5 is generally pretty easy, because the electricity effect from the wire is so strong. The only character where it's not the case, and Zone 5 is actually really, really hard, is Eli, who is a character that can only use bombs and has no damaging attack, but we won't be seeing Eli this run. Only in the cutscenes, which I don't think there's any more Eli appearances in any cutscenes either. Oh, Blast Helm. That's perfect. Like, I'm done digging, so I'll take it. Alright.
You're Octavian, aren't you?
The bard who sought immortality long ago.
I am. And who are you? Besides a thief.
I am Melody, a bard, as you once were. I seek to destroy this accursed loot.
You want to destroy it? The loot is mine!
So, the NecroDancer fight coming up is a very unique boss fight.
If I stop playing, we'll both die. Tell me everything you know.
I will.
All other bosses, the song will loop indefinitely. Melody's has a hard time limit, and if you don't finish the fight in the time limit, you die. But thankfully, if we use the same luring strat, positioning ourselves 4 tiles away and 1 tile to the side from the NecroDancer, we can do the same luring strat as we did on Cadence, and we don't have to worry about the time limit at all. It's not even close. Look at that, we're already on the final phase. We just gotta knock out enough skeletons in the back to push them into lava. That was one of the fastest NecroDancer 2 fights I've ever had.
Get away from me! What?
And so now, we play as Arya,
Mother, is that you?
who is the most badass grandma you will ever know. Because she is going to fight her way out of the crypt using that dagger driven through her heart.
I came back to destroy.
So naturally, you know, there's been a little bit of a difficulty ramp up through the characters as we go. Arguably, Melody even got a little easier.
I did what I thought I had to.
So that's going to continue, and Arya is going to be a character who can only use a basic dagger, has no HP, can't miss beats, or she dies. And yeah, and we'll be doing the zones in reverse order as well. Just a little bit of a difficulty ramp up. I see a cracked wall down there. I'm going to see... Okay, no, I was hoping there was a convenient skull to open this for me. I'm just going to bomb my way in, see what it is. Transmog, okay. I'm going to need more gold to be able to do anything with that. So I'm probably going to be playing Arya a little safer than I played the other characters, just because, you know, given what I just described, she is a much more challenging character, as you probably could have guessed. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and farm up the Leprechaun. I don't know that I've farmed a Leprechaun in this run yet. So if there's a big pile of gold like this, after a few beats, this Leprechaun shows up. I think that was around max. Alright, so we're going to do a little bit of farming here. Both because that freeze spell is really strong, and also I want to do some transmogging as well. Grabbing the torch first. Arguably I should have gone to the transmog first. But depending, if I get Strength Shovel quickly, I may want to switch to transmogging my torch instead of the shovel. But I'm going to start with the shovel. Battle Shovel's okay. We'll run that. Alright. So that's some decent starting equipment. Battle Shovel is a level 2 dig, and the beat after you dig, you'll deal infinite damage. So with careful planning, you can use it to kill tanky mini-bosses really quickly. Whoa, that water ball almost got me. I was about to eat an evil eye hit. Arya thankfully starts with a potion, so she essentially has that extra life from the get-go. But you still gotta be careful. So yeah, we're gonna see the Battle Shovel put to use here. Just go ahead and instantly kill that Minotaur. Normally does have 5 HP, but can make him look like chumps with the Battle Shovel. And there's a Strength Charm in that shop. It's a lock shop, which means you need to use a bomb to get in. But whenever a floor has a lock shop, there's guaranteed going to be a bomb on the floor somewhere to let you in. So that Strength Charm is just a straight up unconditional +1 damage. It's a really good find. Alright, let's go. Oh, that Electro Ball opened up an extra room over there. Use another battle shovel there to kill the metronome a little faster. And okay, deep blues. So yeah, this is the chess boss, but with the freeze spell, this will be very simple. We're just gonna walk up the center, freeze, and take the king out. Easy checkmate. So again, we're gonna go black chest because the pool is so narrow, thanks to the lack of weapons, that we can pretty reliably get something useful. Glass armor's a low roll, but it's still useful.
Octavian, I know who you are. We need to destroy this loot. It was not meant for mortal hands.
You're right. I will sacrifice myself to destroy it.
I can't trust anyone else with this.
I have already been cursed. Let me atone for what I have done.
I was a fool.
Alright, so Zone 4, as always, tough part of the run, but thankfully we're entering it with some extra damage. This zone can be pretty miserable if you're on 1 damage, but thankfully we've got the +1 damage with the Strength Charm and also the Battle Shovel to help. Circle of Telepathy there is going to reveal all enemies on screen, which can normally do some pretty annoying things with the Spirit-type enemies, but thankfully Arya starts with the Nazar Charm, which removes all spirits from the game. So we don't have to worry about spirits spawning in and ruining my day. You can kind of use Goblin Bomber's bombs to your advantage if you're clever about it. They're especially useful against these tanky ooze golems. So food doesn't really do much for Arya, obviously, because she doesn't have the ability to get any max health beyond her starting half a heart. But you still can use it for iframes, because the rule about being invincible the turn you heal still applies. So there are some applications for food for her. They're just much more limited than on other characters. I'm going to stick with the Obsidian here. So those liches will try to confuse you if you get 2 tiles away from them. The confusion lasts 4 beats and inverts your controls. So I just got to be mindful of that. Ooh, is that a Shrine of Darkness? That is a Shrine of Darkness. So another heart transplant here. Oh, that's a Blast Helm? I think I'd take that. I have a decent amount of bombs. And we can check the shop while the heart transplant's active. Got glass slippers, which protect against most floor hazards, so that's pretty good. Gonna freeze here again. I'm gonna go black here, looking for heavy glass armor. I'm gonna take that. It gets me up to 3 damage, which, as I mentioned before, is a pretty crucial damage threshold.
Octavian fled to the crypt and amassed an undead army. But the first time I found the crypt, there were no monsters. After hundreds of years without sleep, the bard had grown weary. He stopped playing, and so he died. The loot was lost to legend.
Alright. So Shrine of Darkness gives me a full map, so I'm going to be looking at the mini-map in the bottom right a lot to figure out where I'm going. Because the Ring of Shadows, as you may have noticed, kind of adversely affects your visibility. Ah, damn it. I accidentally panicked there and tapped the key while sliding on ice. Okay, now I gotta be careful. I am out of safety. I'm going to check this shop. If we can make it to the next boss, we should be able to pick up heavy glass out of the black chest, which will give me 3 hits of safety. I'm going to be a little quieter here, though, because I got to focus and make sure I don't die. Because, yeah, I am on 1-hit territory here. Any damage I take will kill me now. Okay. Alright. So hopefully we get heavy glass out of this black chest and not Karate Gi. Oh no. Okay. We're gonna keep clenching for a little while.
Bard, struggling to be noticed. On his travels, he stumbled across the solution to his troubles.
Okay, we got a hidden chest over here. I'm gonna check it. That's more valuable than the cookie stack. Just extra freeze sources. I'm gonna freeze this so that we can just leave quickly. And I'm gonna take that over the freeze gems. I have the freeze spell. Let's make sure we're not walking into anything dangerous. Okay. All right, there we go. That's a hit of safety. Ring of Shielding will block 1 damage hit and cast a greater shield spell instead. Gotta watch out for these moles though. If you try and attack the mole while it's underground, that counts as a misbeat, and that misbeat damage ignores most protection items other than the potion, so you gotta be very careful about that. Normally I'd skip the boss chest here, but I'm gonna play it safe and look for a little more safety in this purple chest. Shield spell's good. Alright, last zone. If we can keep this Ring of Shielding alive to the final boss, it completely trivializes the fight. So I'm hoping I can do that. Ice Familiar is going to freeze any enemies it touches, which is useful for clearing out situations like this. One more floor, and then the final boss. Yeah, we'll take it. Get a little bit of vision across walls, so I'm not surprised by whatever shows up when I dig through. I'm just going to freeze this. Gotta watch those spiders on the walls. Don't get hit by monkeys. Monkeys count as misbeats. Oh, there goes the Ring of Shielding right at the end.
Before he betrayed me, he told
Okay, so I'm gonna have to be careful on this final boss now, because now I don't have the free safety. In fact, I burned my normal shield spell in panic.
Let's end this.
So, gotta be very careful now. And the final boss is the Golden Loot itself. Hopefully we get a good RNG enabling the quick kill. Whether or not you can quick kill is RNG dependent. Looks like we got it. I don't see any forward riders. Whoop. I messed it up though. Okay, so we're just gonna... There we go. Alright. Got it back on the rails, and this is time.
Finally, I've made amends.
That went better than most of my practice runs, so I am happy with that.
But for you and your family.
Most of my practice runs involved dying at some point and having to switch to individual characters. And so the loot is destroyed, the curse is lifted, everyone's happy. Everyone lives happily ever after, except Arya, who died. Rip Arya. And so, yeah, that's gonna be it. We'll let the credits play. You can see all of the horrible, and by horrible I mean amazing, musical pun names for the enemies, like Freddy Merchantry. I think that's still one of Ryan Clark's best work. Forget all the games he's helped develop, like just a singing shopkeeper named Freddy Merchantry. Like, that's it. He peaked there. I'm kidding, of course. You know, shout outs to Ryan Clark for you know, getting so much community involvement in the development of this game. Because yeah, it's a fantastic speed game, fantastic soundtracks too. Which incidentally shouts to Danny B, who made the original soundtrack, and then you know, we heard some of the other alternative versions. Thanks to your donations for getting the the Family Jewels, Danny B, Vert, and OC Remix soundtracks in today. Yeah, credits aren't too long. Let me think if there's anything else I'd like to add. But yeah, just a general note that there's still a pretty active racing community around this game. We still have major seasons every few months. And, you know, it's a pretty easy game to get into, because, you know, there's no complicated, like, tricks or speed tack or anything. Like, you know, it's all just, you know, simple quarter note taps to the beat on most characters. So the execution's fairly straightforward, and there's a lovely community that is very, very helpful in getting new players on their feet and figuring everything out. Yeah, it's all just, like, pretty much knowledge-based for the most part. So yeah, if you're especially if you're a big rhythm game player, you know, the rhythm aspect's probably going to come pretty easy to you. So if you're rhythm game primarily, you know, focused, which I know some folks here are, and we're thinking about picking up a speedrun, consider NecroDancer. It's brutally hard, but a lot of fun. There's a lot of depth to it when it comes down to, you know, the nitty-gritty, you know, efficiency, you know, maximizing in speedruns. I played it pretty safe here, but like, the world record story mode run is really intense. Yeah, shoutouts to Abu for that, who, I think my in-game time here was 35 minutes. I think Abu's world record run is, like, 24 minutes. And, like an average of 6 minutes for each character. It's absurdly fast. Abu is, like, absolutely ridiculous at this game. And yeah, you'll see a bunch of the testers go through it, including me. I'm on that list, too. And we're coming up on the end of the credits, where, yeah, the lovely announcer will give us congratulations. Congratulations! And there we go. And let's go ahead and take a look at the final victory screen. 35:04.98 is my final time. Pretty solid story mode run that comes in, like, I think, like, top 30 or so. Yeah, looks like rank 29. And that's with a few cheaters on the board, too. So, like, mid-20s, you know, that's a respectable time. 27:07 being my PB. Yeah, 25:28 is world record from Abu. It's yeah, shout-outs to Abu. Anyway, I think that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks to all the organizers, and enjoy the rest of the marathon. Yeah, next up is some Taiko, which is always a good time, so make sure you stick around for that.